Rose Book of Bible Charts, Maps, and Timelines. The elder of our camp in James, Atlanta, Elder Barzal. Um, he had this book many years ago. I remember when I first came in 2012. Um, this brother and Kahan Tazaiwan, or Priest Tazaiwan from our camp, have this book has this book as well. Many other books pertaining to the scriptures, but he went over this book in the class. He went over the key things of the tabernacle, which the Levitical priesthood served in, and how it was very important. It had the like I said, the tabernacle, the holy of holies. As you can see right here in this book, I'm gonna zoom in. But you have right here in this book the tabernacle at the top of these other pictures, like this map on the far left, along with the outside of the tabernacle that's shown on the far left with the priest and his priestly garment. But right here where this brazen altar is, where these bulls are located, or these calves, and you have these two pillars right here. This is the tabernacle of the Lord. Then you see in the inside, they have these cherubims in the walls. The ceiling as well. You have these two lions with the with wings. But then also right here, which I'm about to go down to. Now right here you see Bible timeline. And it goes into secular history too. That's why you see other images right here as well, like this Pharaoh, Egypt Pharaoh right here. You have this cross right here. Showing the time of King Solomon rule, how he set up the city with the temple of the Most High. Then you have modern day Israel right here at the far right, the Pharaoh statue. Right here it says down here, Rose Publishing. This is the book. You can get this book too for $32 from Amazon. I got me one too as well. It says right here, Bible timeline. Right here, key major event. Now this is the PDF I have on my phone. So if you want to download it, you can too. It's for free. I have Android, by the way. I don't know how it is on Apple, but I think you can download it on Apple too, because I downloaded it and forwarded it to the my group chat in GMS Atlanta Camp, and Jordy Brothers got iPhone, so they said they received it, so yes, it should be good on the iPhones if you're downloading this AP. It's like this PDF on your phone, whether Android or iPhone. So right here it says Bible history, 2200 BC or 2200 BC. Bible history starting with Abraham, and then it got different chronological dates concerning our ancestors, starting with Abraham. But then you got down here too, creation to Abraham, generation of Adam, Seth, Ethnos, Canaan, Mahalalel. It's like in Mahalalel, Jard, Enoch, Methuselah, Lamech, Noah, Shem, Arphaxad, Salah, Eber, Peleg, Ru. And Eber goes back to the word Hebrew, which the word Hebrew in the Hebrew language, or the Paleo-Hebrew language, is Abar, which means past or beyond, meaning the past time or the ancient time. And like I just mentioned, in the book of Job, chapter 8, verse 8, going into inquire the former age. Former goes into ancestor or past time. And right here, Ru, Sarug, Nahor, Torah, Abraham. So it gives you uh, detail going back even to the time of Adam, or on how we are related to the Adamites. Because remember, when Adam and Eve sinned, the Lord put coats of skins on them, meaning Genesis chapter 3, when he said he put coats of skins on them and he moved them out of the Eden, east of the Garden of Eden, which is mainly over the east of the planet Earth, because the whole earth is paradise. But the Lord planted them in the land of Israel. It's no coincidence, it's not ironic. But the chosen people has always been over there, even starting with Adam. But then, after the flood, Ham, they scattered through there. That's why the successor of Moses, which is Joshua, um, which led Israel into those lands where the Canaanites stayed after the flood because their forefathers, beginning with Ham, after the flood, basically dried up. Ham went on and moved into those certain areas, which so happened to be the promised land for us. And the Lord told Jericho and Israel to go in and take those lands, because not only are they polluting it, but also the Lord has chosen that for our people since the beginning of time. So this is a very good book to go into and filter it with the scriptures. And it has some world history or secular history too within this Rose book, so you can get an idea on how we fitted in world history, and also how world history really separates Israel from the rest of the world. And it has some little bones in it. They try to compare, because you really look at this replacement theology. They try to compare now these damn Edomites to being the people of the Lord, and the ministry of the Lord or the covenant is now with everybody, starting with the Edomites. So just watch out for that. But you shouldn't get tripped up. It's very elementary. Concerning how detailed this book is with the scriptures and what we should know to not get tripped up. It's very interesting though, this book. I'm gonna go down and skip a couple of parts in this book. I ain't gonna get into all the book, just this particular part, just to stay on topic about how we should inquire or ask of our forefathers. Because it's for our learning. Now, right here you got the tabernacle. Right here, it says right here the tabernacle. Kind of put it out a little bit so you can see it. Now, surrounding this tabernacle is the 12 tribes of Israel on the east side, north, south, east, and west. And right here, you got going through the tabernacle. They got different curtains and whatnot to cover and make up the temple. And the roof of it, then you have the Ark of the Covenant in the most holy of holy place right here in the tabernacle. Which is the Ark of the Covenant. And outside of the Ark of the Covenant, you got on the side the showbread. You got the menorah that's lit up, which the menorah was, it didn't have candles in it. It had, branches, real branches in it to, burning the menorah that you see right here inside the temple, the Ark of the Temple. Then you got, these horns with the brazen altars. Where the priests wash up right here to certain instruments pertaining to the tabernacle that the Lord told Moses to build and give over those orders to Israel to make. Also in Exodus chapter 25, I'm not going to read it, but I'm just getting a couple of scriptures on how how the Lord ordered us to do these things, and how he's doing it spiritually in these times. Like the Lord always had an order and an agenda he wanted us to do. in order to fulfill his will. So right here in the Rose book, it says the tabernacle, Exodus 25 through 40, like I just mentioned, chapter 25. It says Hebrews chapter 9 through chapter 13. What is the tabernacle? The tabernacle was a movable tent, because we didn't move a lot until we got to the promised land. And it says we did move a lot until we got to the promised land. So meanwhile, before we got there, the Lord will have us to set up the tabernacle wherever we was stationed at for a while until it was time for us to leave. So that's why it says the tabernacle was a movable tent. The tabernacle was a movable tent of meeting that Yahweh commanded Moses to build. Yahweh wanted to dwell among his people, the Israelites. He wanted to have fellowship with them and be able to communicate with them. The tabernacle and its courtyard were constructed according to a pattern set by Yahweh, like I just mentioned in Exodus chapter 25 through chapter 40, Hebrews chapter 9, chapter 13 reflects on those chapters of Exodus chapter 25 and verse 40 and filter it through the Spirit on how it still has relevance to this day. But it's in the Spirit though, because we were, first of all, we're not in our own land. We're not free. We're under we're subject to oppression on our enemies and also sin. So we have to wait till the Lord comes back. You know, the Lord said it was going to be a time when we're not going to have a king, we're not going to have a priesthood, we're not going to have the image of the Most High. But now we have the image of the Most High through the spirit of the scriptures, the doctrine. And ultimately, the Lord's going to come back and he's going to save us and he's going to put us back in our land and we're going to commit acts like these again. You know, that's us right there, man. Even though they kind of, had the paintbrushes painted the people, the Lord white, but this is us, man. Now, right here it says, Yahweh wanted to dwell amongst his people. Okay, I read that already. The tabernacle in his courtyard, courtyard, were constructed according to a pattern, because the word Levi goes back to lawyer, which nowadays the judicial system used the word lawyer within their law system. So lawyer is a mediator for a person in the court system to really stand up for or to fight for on the behalf of that person, whatever law that the person broken or whatever the matter is in the court. The lawyer is there on the behalf of that person, whether innocent or bad, and that's who the Levites was, especially the high priest. The high priest would sacrifice once a year for himself and also for Israel. Give an oblation or offering to the Lord, sin offering. In Hebrews chapter 10, Yahweh Shai was the high priest for us. He did sacrifice his life for us and for himself, because Yahweh Shai, believe it or not, he's a reincarnation of Adam. That's how he got to save the Lord's people again, because he cleaned not only the slate of Adam, which he was in the past time, but when he came in this time, he also washed the sins away of Israel as a whole. So right here it says, we study the tabernacle to understand the steps the Lord laid out for a sinful people to approach a holy power. The tabernacle was built approximately 1440. They go that number, that spiritual number, 144, the 144,000. 1440 BC. It was the place where Yahweh dwelt with his people for 400 years. It was used from the time of Exodus until the time of King Solomon. When the temple was built, the tabernacle was the center of the Israelite camp. The 12 tribes of Israel camped around the tabernacle in a special arrangement, which we see right here. And King Solomon and King David, they besides Moses too, the Levites would have special duties that they would year in and year out pertaining to the tabernacle, the temple of the Most High. They would have Levite duties. Some would be porters at the gates of the tabernacle. Some would clean the utensils. Some would keep the fire going. Some would offer up the sacrifices, whether peace offering, sin offering. But they wouldn't go into the Holy of Holies. Only the high priest would. And they would shift change too. They would do it for like 6 months and then they'll change. Then another set of priesthood would come in and then they would do the same service to the Lord and the king. Or, before the king, you had Moses and they would do those things. Always have provision, met for the tabernacle service, and also changing up the showbread every week. The showbread would be up there every 7 days. So these are the customs that our forefathers done, and the Most High was very joyful. He delighted in that. And the Lord told us to keep these ordinances forever. But since we failed against him, now we're in our captivity. But the Lord's raising us up out of this captivity, and he's going to put us back into our land. So this book of remembrance is very important for us to get, because this is the key that will seal us from not only the judgment that's coming, like it says in Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 4, set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and they cry for all abominations that be done thereof. The word mark in the Hebrew is the word thawah, which means exempt from judgment. Not only are we exempt from judgment because of this seal or this mark upon our foreheads, or basically this knowledge within us that we received and learned and we believe in and we apply, but also the seal is for us to be woken back up to who we really are, and it will activate the Lord changing us into kings and priests. Because the kings and priests, they always had a heavy duty within the tabernacle of the Lord, the temple of the Lord, within the nation of Israel. You name it, man. That's what the governing body of Israel did. They performed the ministries or the service of the Lord day in and day out, year in and year out. And it's going back to that. And call Allah Yabashim Rashad that it is going back to that. This is Romans chapter 15, verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. And we do have hope. This is the book of Baruch, chapter 2, verse Baruch chapter 2, verse 29. No, it's like verse 31. and should know that I am the Lord that power, for I will give them a heart and ears to hear. Like it says in Romans chapter 10, how should one believe if they have not heard? Or it's like, how should one believe if they have not been taught? You have to be taught the Spirit of God by Shai to receive this truth. Like Pontius Pilate asked Yahweh Shai, he said, what is truth? Like, damn sure ain't a lie, but this truth is the truth about the people of the Creator. He has set this truth or this doctrine as a remembrance of him and also his people, along with our inheritance, along with our covenant, our history, etc. This is Romans chapter 10, verse 14. It's like in verse 3. It's like in verse 13. For whosoever should call upon the name of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai should be saved. So if we call upon the name of the Lord, like the Lord said in John chapter 14, verse 1, if you believe in the Heavenly Father, believe in me also. And plus, in order to go to the Father, we have to go through his only begotten Son, who the word really called Jesus Christ. His name is Yahweh Shai, going back to the Hebrew language, which our forefathers named themselves with and spoke with. So right here, verse 14, how then shall they call on him in whom they have not believed? Proverbs chapter 30, verse 4 goes to what is his name and what is his son's name, if thou can tell. If that verse was going into, who made the heavens and the earth, how was it made, and what is his name and what is his son's name? Well, the only ones that know that name is Israel. Second Ezra chapter 6 goes to that, how the Lord only dealt with Israel and no other nation. And the same thing goes for today. These other nations, they don't believe in the Lord. A lot of these other nations, especially these heathens, like Moab and Ammon, for instance, they believe in sun gods. These East Indian, these Arabs, they believe in, Allah and rat gods. And East Indians, I think they believe in the afterlife. If you coming back as an animal or something, or a rat. These Arabs, they believe in that Islam bullshit. It's Muslim hood. Like it says in Jeremiah chapter 2, I think around the 14th verse, has any nation